do want to ask you about one collaborator in particular. I know a lot of people have expressed disappointment and were really upset that you decided to involve Dr. Luke on this album. Why did you choose to work with him?
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations.
Katy Perry is getting candid. The pop star sat down with Alex Cooper for the September 4th episode of Call Her Daddy, where she opened up about a range of personal topics, including her relationship with fiancé Orlando Bloom and their daughter Daisy, as well as her childhood. The two women kicked off by speaking about the environment which Katy was raised in, a strict Christian household that didn't have much, and also touched upon her rise to fame.
Back to your childhood, you've talked about having been on food stamps as a kid.
Yeah, my family had that time. I mean, we were only, by the grace of what the church could offer us, which fluctuated all the time, that was our livelihood. And, you know, it wasn't very much.
Can you describe your personality as a kid?
I was black sheep. I came out of the womb going, tell me why, you know?
Why do you think that is?
I'm curious. I'm super curious. And that has been my education my whole life, is my curiosity. And that curiosity has just continued to unravel the layers of life. And, you know, I know myself so much more because of my curiosity. And so I just was like, nothing was so black and white for me. It was infinite, you know? I was like, there's so much more out there.
How would you describe your household growing up?
My household was a little volatile. There was a lot of stressors, money being the biggest one. The biggest one, I think. I went to church on Sunday morning, on Sunday night, on Wednesdays. Have I ever been trick-or-treating? I think I've been trick-or-treating once. I wasn't allowed to trick-or-treat.
Why?
It's a pagan holiday. And the devil's holiday or whatever, you know. We had a prayer meeting instead. We didn't even acknowledge it. I wasn't allowed to eat Lucky Charms because luck is derivative from Lucifer. You know, my mom was and still is really good at finding the positive in everything. And I do that.
But I think that's the gorgeous part of growing up, right? Is like taking what your parents give you.
Yes.
And we get to kind of be like, no to this, yes to this, no to this. And then you make your own reality.
They gave me my compass in a lot of ways. They really gave me a lot of integrity. They taught me how to treat people.
Did you ever go through a rebellious phase?
I'm still in it, baby.
The hot and cold singer then discussed her relationship with Orlando, spilling about what drew the two together, as well as their short breakup before reconciling, while also hilariously sharing her love language and making an NSFW sex confession.
We do a lot of couples therapy, and we want to evolve. That's like, I think, why we're in our relationship, is to become better humans so that we can raise this beautiful human being. One of my love languages is acts of service. So it's like, if I come downstairs and the kitchen is clean and you've done it all, and you've done all the dishes and you've closed all the pantry doors, you better be ready to get your sucked. I mean, like, literally, that is my love language. I don't need a red Ferrari. I can buy a red Ferrari. Just do the dishes.
I'm obsessed.
It's not easy. Sorry. Don't you know?
It's facts.
It's facts. And even when we went on like a couples retreat, they're like, which guy has more sex? The guy that drives the Ferrari, the red Ferrari, or the guy that helps out with his wife every night in the kitchen? In the kitchen was the answer.
What initially drew you to him?
His adventure spirit. He's got a free spirit. He's super healthy, and he wants me to be healthy. Sometimes that can be annoying, but it's all for the good. He shows up. He is loyal. He's a Capricorn. He's not scared. I don't know if this Capricorn trait is for everyone, but what I've noticed and what he resonates with is that, like, he can get his hands dirty. You know, he loves the elements. He's spontaneous. And he checks a lot of boxes. And not one person's gonna check all the boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Was it an initial spark or was it a slow burn?
It's been different layers. The more we do the work, the more we find the next level.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we get stuck and we're like, okay, well, let's go into do the work, and this is going to be annoying and I don't want to do it and we don't have the time and I'm tired.
But we're going to do it.
But we're going to do it. And then we find the next level, and that's why we're continuing in the relationship.
How did you guys decide to break up?
So what happened was we weren't like really in it from day one. I mean, he was in a way, because he had just done a huge time of celibacy and he had set intentions, and I was fresh out of a relationship and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go into a swim in a different pond. But I had yet to do a lot of like some real work.
Katy and Alex also spoke about the importance of self-growth.
I want to ask you another question that you mentioned about, you know, being a boss and being so successful and how intimidating that can be to partners. And I'm sure, like you kind of just mentioned, you've been in relationships where, and I've been in it, where I've dated guys that I'm like, oh my God, you're so intimidated by my success.
And they don't even know how to verbalize it.
And for a minute, if you're not in the best place, like I've been there where I, for a moment, was like, oh, should I dim myself more? Should I
I've
maybe
been
not?
There. I have dimmed.
Right?
I have dimmed.
You dim because you're like, you can't see it immediately.
You also want to play the game, play a role.
Not be too much. So you're like, okay, like maybe I should take off this day so he feels what.
And now I'm taking up space. I'm taking up space.
And it's like, you can't win with those people. And I feel like it's hard with the.
There's one girl listening and she's like, they're talking to me. I have to go. They're talking to me.
Elsewhere in their conversation, the 39-year-old opened up about motherhood and her daughter Daisy.
When she came into my life, and she is a true king. She is a real king. She's very strong-willed, very outspoken, beautiful, and such an empath. She's very heart-centered. I mean, on the playground, at the beach, when we were in London, there was a girl that fell, and literally she gave her lollipop to her. And I was like, you love lollipops. You gave her lollipop away to her. And it just made it made the little girl that fell feel so good. And so Daisy is such a kind empath and cares and worries about the world, and she's got a great intuition as well. She's my gift, I think, for doing all that work too. We intentionally brought her into this world. We knew we wanted to have a child. We knew we were gonna, okay, let's do it as a celebration of all the work that we've done together and create this being. And so she's the gift. She is exactly what I get for doing that, and I'm continuing to do the work.
At the end of the episode, Alex asked the California Girls singer about her decision to work with Dr. Luke for her new album, despite backlash. Dr. Luke had previously been involved in a long-standing defamation lawsuit with Kesha that has since been settled, after she accused him of drugging and raping her, which he denied. Katy acknowledged Dr. Luke's contribution to her new album, but explained how she wanted the music to focus on her own personal life experiences.
I do want to ask you about one collaborator in particular. I know a lot of people have expressed disappointment and were really upset that you decided to involve Dr. Luke on this album. Why did you choose to work with him?
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with. But the reality is it comes from me. The truth is I wrote these songs from my experience of my whole life going through this metamorphosis. And he was one of the people to help facilitate all that, one of the writers, one of the producers. And I am speaking from my own experience. Like when I speak about Woman's World, I speak about feeling so empowered now as a mother, as a woman, giving birth, creating life, creating another set of organs, a brain, a heart. I created a whole ass heart, and I did it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still a matriarch, and feeling really grounded in that. That's where I'm speaking from.
Yeah.
And so I created all of this with several different collaborators, people that I've collaborated with from the past, from Teenage Dream era, all of that.